God of the universe, look thou with favor upon these here assembled, and bestow thy guidance upon the members of the governing body in their deliberations. This we ask in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello. Sorry for the delay. Notice of this meeting stating the date, place, and time has been disseminated as required under the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975. In the event of an emergency, the proper method of exiting the council chambers is to leave. I don't know why I have to read this. So much common sense. But the doors behind you, you will leave calmly, walk outside, and stay away from the building. Any member of the public wishing to speak during the public comment session at the end of the meeting, to please sign in on the white sheets provided at the front of the room. Your cell phones, they should be turned off. They should not go off at all. If you need to make a call, please stand outside and talk. Mr. Porter, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Ormond,
She's excused.
Javik,
Here.
Brown,
Here.
Brooks,
Excuse.
Cosby Hurling,
Excuse.
Mr. Sadowski,
Here.
Strano,
Here.
Yamikaitis,
Here.
Medina,
Here.
Hickey,
Here.
President Alvarez.
Here.
Quorum exists.
Thank you. We're going to start by approving the minutes of July 18th, 2017 of the regular meeting, and I need a motion.
Council President, make a motion for the approval of the minutes for July 18th and ask for a second.
I second.
Mr. Javik,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Sadowski,
Yes.
Strano,
Yes.
Yamikaitis,
Yes.
Medina,
Yes.
Hickey,
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez.
Yes. Okay, we're going to start. We have Mr. Bono, he's a director, correct? Right title, of the Special Improvement District in Wood Avenue, and he will be presenting the budget. Mr. Bono, can you please come forward? How are you today, sir? The red light should be on. Press the middle button. There you go.
Now it's on. The budget that we're presenting this evening is self-explanatory, but a lot of things in the budget will be changing in the next year. By that I mean there are some things that are going to be happening on Wood Avenue that we haven't done before. One of the things we're going to do, and we've been working with Al to decorate Wood Avenue the way it was done years ago, and we're going to absorb the cost of that. The other thing that we're doing, as many of you know, we have a new location on Wood Avenue, and one of the things that we're doing in cooperation with Councilman Brown is we're going to set up a computer system inside for the merchants on Wood Avenue that don't have computers. They can come in and use our computer. We're also going to have a notary public in the office, and at no cost to the merchants or the residents will be able to notarize their documents. We are also, this year, in cooperation with the Public Works Department, going to have power washing done 4 times a year. In years past, we had it done once. Now, in cooperation with them, we're going to do it 4 times a year, and the SID Corporation will be picking up the tab of whatever it costs for the workers that do it. Those are just some of the things we're contemplating. We're contemplating in our new office, making it available for community activities or meetings when groups want to have it. We have the space to do it, and it's a beautiful site, and you'll all be invited to the grand opening, which is going to be in September, and you'll all be receiving an invitation, and I hope you can make it. One of the other things that we're doing is looking into the possibility of supplying tables and chairs to some of the restaurants on Wood Avenue to have outdoor seating. I think a year or so ago, the council approved having outdoor seating for the restaurants. So we anticipate doing that also. Our computer system and our technical things that we have in the office is now at a new level than we've ever had it before. We're trying to get the computer in a way that we can send out notices or invitations to all the merchants on Wood Avenue. So I think we have a rather aggressive agenda for this year and as well as into next year. We plan on having Merchants Appreciation Day again next year. We thought it went very well this year. And I sense a new level of cooperation with some of the people that are running other events, like September to Remember, the 5K run, and things of that nature. You know, I want everybody on the council to understand that if you have any ideas or recommendations that you'd like to make, by all means make them. We'll try to do anything that's in the best interest of the downtown area. And I'll take any questions any of you may have.
Any questions from the dais? Okay, at this time, I'm going to be calling the public hearing on the SID budget. Do we have a list? Oh, that's going to be a quick list. Okay. In this case, may I have a motion to close the public hearing and adopt the 2017 SID budget? Can I have a mo-
Yes, Council President, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing and adopt the 2017 Special Improvement District budget, and I request a second.
Second.
Mr. Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Zadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
No.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Motion
Okay.
is approved.
Okay, at this time, we're going for ordinance on hearing. Mr. Bode, can you please read ordinance 61-46?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, 7-33 Handicap Parking Regulations, 7-33.1A Handicap Parking on Street, name of street, add 608 Roselle Street, one space, 1112 Winans Avenue, one space.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Has any written communication been received?
No, sir.
Is there anyone that wishes to be heard on this ordinance? May I have a motion excuse me, may I have a motion for the ordinance, please?
Yes, Council President, I make a motion for the approval of ordinance 61-46 and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Mr. Bode, can you please read 6147?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 31 zoning of an ordinance entitled, an ordinance adopting and enacting the revised general ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23rd, 1999, and approved November 24th, 1999, and as amended and supplemented.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Has any written communication been received?
No, sir.
Is there anyone that wishes to be heard on this ordinance? May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number 6147 in the absence of Councilman from the 5th Ward. And I request a second.
Second.
Mr. Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Mr. Bode, can you please read 61-48?
A bond ordinance authorizing capital improvements at the Linden train station and appropriating $1 million therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $950,000 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Has any written communications been received?
No, sir.
Is there anyone that wishes to be heard on this ordinance? May I have a motion, please?
Yeah, excuse me, Council President, I'd like to make a motion to table this ordinance until September 19th meeting. I need a second.
Second.
I'm sorry, who was the second?
Gretchen.
Mr. Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Mr. Bodak, can you please read 6149?
An ordinance amending Chapter 2-15 entitled Division of Personnel Services.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Has any written communication been received?
No, sir.
Is there anyone that wishes to be heard on this ordinance? In that case, may I have a motion, please?
Council President, I move that the hearing be closed and ordinance 61-49 be adopted and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
No.
Hickey?
No.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Mr. Bodak, can you please read 6150?
An ordinance repealing Ordinance 57-25 entitled Garbage Collection Annual Surcharge.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Has any written communication been received?
No, sir.
Is there anyone that wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Great. Can I have a motion, please?
Council President, make a motion for the passage of ordinance 61-50 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. In case anybody didn't know, this was the ordinance that tells you there is no more garbage tax next year. Okay. Consent agenda. All items listed with asterisks are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered on its normal sequence on the agenda, items 1 through 4. Does anyone wish to remove any item for discussion? In that case, may I have a motion, please?
Council President, I move for approval of consent agenda items number 1 to 4 and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. At this time, we'll go with committee reports. We will start with Councilman Javik. Sir?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I've been getting calls from our Second Ward residents in regards to situations happening from Style Street along West Blanky Street and to the Rollway border. I've had a talk with our Linden Chief of Police, and we will be getting more patrols in these areas. He also assures me we will have a LPD truck team division for handling truck enforcement on our streets, checking weight, capacity, and et cetera. These are other issues that we've been having in the Second Ward. DPW is out there actively trimming and cutting trees right now, so please notify your council person in your ward if you need this service done. In addition, give them an indication of any sidewalks that may need to be repaired. So you will know we are behind on street sweeping due to a problem with one of our trucks. We're working on getting that resolved. In addition, September 18th is the target date for the additional garbage cans arriving shortly after we will be dispensing them to the public. This affects 1st, 2nd, 6th, 7th, and 8th wards. For all the commuters, the street stairs have been replaced at the train station. More projects will continue because that is the gateway to our city. In regards to our landfill, our solar array is going out for bid, so we should have something substantial on that by the beginning of October. In addition, put August 21st at 4 o'clock on your calendar. That's when we have our back-to-school backpack giveaway. This was a huge success last year, so I'm looking forward to seeing another huge event. End of my report.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Brown?
No report.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Sadowski?
Yes, I have a report from Councilman.
Oh, from Councilman Brooks?
Yes.
Okay.
The city clerk licensing division is submitting this monthly report for the month of July 2017. This office issued 35 dog licenses and 67 miscellaneous licenses and collected $2,992. The following license permits and transcripts issued to the city clerk's office during the month of July 2017, and fees received have been returned over to the municipal treasurer of the city of Linden. There was 88 birth, death, and marriages, 34 marriage and civil union licenses, no domestic partnership licenses, 5 miscellaneous revenues, 1 bingo raffle, 254 ERS vital statistics, no burial permits. Interest earned was 83 cents. There was 382 total transactions. The city revenue was $5,994.78. State revenue was $850. The Fire Committee report. The Fire Prevention Bureau collected for the month of July 2017 a total of $6,535.50 for permits, fees, penalties, and inspections. The ambulance reimbursement system deposited for the month of July 2017 was $62,160.18. Deposits for the year total, $473,754.42. FMBA Locals 34 and 234 will be holding a charity pig roast at the American Legion on this Saturday, August 19th, from 2 to 7 p.m. Tickets are $20 for adults. Kids under 10 are $15. The annual Fire Prevention Night will be held on October 13th, 2017, from 5 to 8 p.m. on Wood Avenue in front of City Hall. Please come out and join us. The Linden Roselle Sewage Authority. The board made decisions to change the table of organization to include the executive director and plant superintendent positions effective upon retirement of Gary Fair in January 2018. The job description for both were approved and authorized to advertise for the positions it also received. The plant operated in full compliance with its permit for the last month. Executive Director advised the board that 2017 expenditures are on target at a level of 50% at 50% of the fiscal year. However, revenues from the major classes A and B users are substantially lower, primarily due to reduced flows from MERC and lower loading from public service. The last week, there was contract negotiations with the union. It was at a standstill. We had a mediator, 2 mediators been called in to talk to both of the parties. As it stands now, it's still deadlocked. The DPW is in process, I don't know which ward they're starting in, of going around the neighborhood and trimming trees. By that I mean, when I was walking around the 6th ward, there were places I couldn't even walk. The branches were so low, we had to walk in the street. There were trees already where cars couldn't park, but we talked to them, and they have a group going out, and they are taking care of that situation, which is a benefit to the people. Okay, to end this, just a happy incident to report. I've seen it in the movies, I've seen it on television, in magazine, in comic books, but never saw it in real life. Last week on Cedar Avenue, we had a cat was stuck in a tree. The tree was at least 2 families high, two stories high at least. And yes, the fire department did come down and rescue the cat to the applause of the neighbors of Cedar Avenue. Like I said, I've never seen it in real life, and I just want to thank the firemen of company number 1 for doing a job well done. Just goes to show you is your taxpayers' dollars at work. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Chief, did you get pictures on that?
Chief wasn't here.
Councilman Strano?
Yes, Council President. I have the report for Finance, the Budget Review and Finance Committee, and approval is requested for the following finance actions. We need the payment of bills totaling $1,447,939.52 in bills which have been signed by the Mayor, the Council President, and the Finance Chairman. And a detailed check register and vouchers are on file in the clerk's office. And we are in receipt of the investments made by the city treasurer for the month of August at the rate of 1%. I move for approval, and I ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
She's excused.
I'm here.
Oh, I'm sorry. She's here.
This is the Finance and Budget Report, Mrs. Ormond.
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown? Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Abstain.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Okay, it concludes my reports for this month. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Yemakaitis?
Thank you, Council President. I'll start with the personnel report. Did everyone get a copy? Any questions on it? Okay, seeing none. From the Personnel Division, number 1, number A, the FMLA NJFLA requests for employee ID number 006134, intermittent FMLA NJFLA from 6/1/17 to 5/31/2018. Employee ID number 908934A, FMLA from 8/7/17 to 9/18/2017. Employee ID number 000789, FMLA from 8/3/17 to 9/13/2017. Number 2, from the Police Department, accepting the separation and employment for police recruit Carla Gallardo, effective July 19, 2017. Number B, accepting the separation and employment for police recruit Gregory Adamczyk, effective August 1st, 2017. C, the promotion of Thomas Toth to police captain, effective September 1st, 2017, at the annual salary of $149,000 to replace an existing vacancy due to a retirement. D, the promotion of Rick Bachman to police lieutenant, effective September 1st, 2017, at the annual salary of $124,000. E, the promotion of Matthew D'Amata to police sergeant, effective September 1st, 2017, at the annual salary of $108,000. F, permission is granting for the posting of a bilingual clerk 1 for the Traffic Bureau. J, permission is granted for the posting of countywide for 3 full-time public safety dispatchers. Number 3, in the Department of Public Works, permission to post statewide for the position of Superintendent of Public Works. 4, in the Engineering Department, to hire a Pradeep Sony as an assistant engineer at the starting annual salary of $45,000 effective September 1st, 2017, pending successful completion of all pre-employment screenings. Number 5, in the Department of Public Property, amending the start date of Gregory Blaine to July 24th, 2017. Number 6, in the Department of Public Works, the separation of employment of Angelo Anastasio as a truck driver effective August 4th, 2017. Number 7, in the Department of Public Works, the promotion of William Telesco to truck driver effective August 16th, 2017, at an hourly rate of $21 an hour to replace an existing vacancy. Number 8, in the Department of Public Works, the permanent certification of Ronald Brewer as a Public Works Supervisor effective June 19th, 2017, and no change in his present salary. Number 9, in the Personnel Division, the amendment for intern Makalamba Juma, amend start date to August 14, 2017, until October 30th, 2017. I move for approval and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes, with the exception of number 3.
That's a no to number 3, or?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to acknowledge our officers that were promoted this evening. Can you please stand? Congratulations on your promotion. Okay, I'll move on to my regular reports. From the Mayor's Youth Commission, the second annual Backpack to School for You will be held this Monday, August 21st, from 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at the Linden Promenade. Age-appropriate backpacks will be given away to Linden residents with ID. Pre-registration online is available at our city website, which is www.linden-nj.org. If you scroll down a little bit on the first page, you'll see the flyer for save the date for the backpack giveaway. And if you click on the purple link, you'll be able to pre-register your child to try to avoid some of the lines. We ask that you just please print out the email for presentation at registration. The deadline for this pre-registration is this Friday, August 18th. I have a report from the Public Property and Recreation Committee. Our playground and day camp program is ending this week. We are experiencing a complete turnaround in our program, moving forward, not backward. Fun Day was held 2 weeks ago for the Linden Playground program at Alcala Park. It was a totally revamped and different from from years past. This year, there were many stations set up. Even our teenagers were engaged and a part of the playground program, which was so nice to see. They had a river cross where the kids were on scooters going across, having to hold on to the teenagers. You couldn't get them out of there. I have to say, it's so nice to see that we're really making a difference in that department. So, unfortunately, with the talent show this year and craft show, they got rained out both nights, but they still went forward. It was very tight and congested, but the kids all had fun at the talent show performing. I mean, we even had one little guy from St. Mark's Park singing a Frank Sinatra song dressed up in a suit. It was really cute. So I encourage everyone, if you get a chance, to view the talent show when it's on TV 36. I just want to give kudos to Nancy Braxton, Jennifer McDonald, and Austin Frank, as well as all the camp counselors for doing an excellent job. Keep up the good work. You haven't gone unnoticed. I also want to give a shout out to our fire department. I mean, besides getting cats out of the tree, they've been attending all the day camps and playgrounds and doing a wet down for the kids, and they really enjoyed that. So thank you, fire department. Okay, I'll move on to the 8th Ward report. I'm going to ask that we save the date. October 7th, we'll have 8th Ward garage sale. The fee for 8th Ward residents will be waived for that day, so please email me at councilwomanmichelle@gmail.com or call me at 908-925-2309, so I can set up a list of participants so people can have an idea where to go around an award for people that want to participate. The rain date for this will be October 8th. And as Councilman Javik had mentioned, the entire city will be going online with the automated garbage truck, so they do have plans. I know I've had a few calls regarding some of our tight streets. There were concerns about how are they going to use that. They do have some type of gadget where they hook it up to the back, and they will be able to get your garbage. So I was told we'll probably receive our cans on the week of September 11th with a tentative startup date of September 18th. So I'll have more information as we get closer. So that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Medina?
Yes, thank you, Council President. Good evening, everyone. I do have two reports, committee reports. One's from the Construction Code. Total of 109 permits were issued for the month of July, totaling out to an amount of $95,687 for the month of July. So it's actually a great report because this is proof in the pudding that there's a lot of activities in the city of Linden when it comes to construction and new building and rehabbing in the city of Linden. So we love seeing these type of reports. That's the end of that report. Also just want to give a quick tech committee report. Normally don't give a report on this committee, but we are launching another new city website. It's actually the same website, just an updated version, new version. It's going to be a fresh version. It's going to be a little more easier to navigate, a lot more information, and also it's going to be mobile friendly as well. So it's going to be very reactive if you're viewing our website on your mobile device. So just keep an eye out for that. We're going to definitely put out a notice on that, and please give some feedback. So a lot of these projects are coming out of the public access grant money that we receive every year from Comcast, Verizon. So it doesn't cost the taxpayers any money, and plus we're trying to improve and enhance the way we communicate with the residents of Linden. So I'm a big believer in trying to bring some type of transparency and provide as much information as we can to the residents of Linden. So please keep an eye out for that new website, and I'll provide updates as we get closer to the launch. For the 9th Ward, we're having roads and sidewalks starting in September. That's what the information I received from engineering. It might be possible delays depending on how the contractor is moving, but I just want to go down the list of some of these roads, just to give you an idea what we got going on in the 9th Ward. Panlin Avenue to 5th, Morristown Road between Summit and Orchard, Birchwood between DeWitt and Summit, Hillside between DeWitt and Summit, and Swarthmore Road between DeWitt and Summit. Extremely proud of this list because due to the work of the gas company and their contractor, we were able to stretch out those dollars and actually add 2 more roads since we're only paving half of the road. So we're taking advantage of that and trying to stretch that out, and also adding in the curbs and sidewalk as well. Unfortunately, the Sunnyside community does not qualify for any special grant money, so a lot of this money comes out of our capital budget. So I'm excited that we're stretching out these funds and getting additional roads in there. I know it can be frustrating sometimes, and we look at the list and we look at the roads. Our engineering department, they're very organized, and they actually have a map of every single ward and the roads and what year it was actually paved. So when I look at some of these roads, I'm like, oh my God, 1938, 1940. It's just amazing how these roads, and actually back in the days, they actually did a better job than what's currently being done today, because they actually have withstanded the test of times, and compared to the new roads and how they're being paved, and might be difference in materials, who know? I'm not the expert trying to figure that out, but we do have a lot of older roads, and I know there's older roads in the 10th Ward as well, so we're trying to get to them and stretch out those dollars. So we appreciate the residents and their patience, and as we try to tackle some of these issues. Just want to bring everyone aware that I know there were a couple burglaries in the 9th Ward off of DeWitt. Just want to, again, emphasize, if you see something suspicious, vehicles, people, you don't recognize them, they're hanging around, just call our non-emergency line at 908-474-8500. I'm telling you, we got a great police force. They will respond, they will look at it, they will check it out, and just talk to your neighbors as well. So I spoke to the families that just recently went through these 2 robberies. The police were great, they responded, the detectives, amazing. But again, it's about bringing awareness and just being aware of your surroundings, and I think that's extremely important to report that. Besides that, just want to wish everyone a safe remainder of your summer, I guess, because summer unfortunately is coming to an end. So enjoy the remainder of your summer, be safe, and have a great Labor Day. So that concludes my report. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Hickey?
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Well, today I thought Academy Terrace would be paved and finished from DeWitt Terrace to Style Street, but then the rain came. So it should be finished tomorrow. We've been long awaiting this street to be taken care of. But I do have to thank all the residents. Between the gas work and the paving, their patience, their understanding has been beyond belief, and I really do appreciate it. I know it's frustrating, but in order to get improvements done, we have to sacrifice a little as well. SCOTA has been working diligently in the 10th Ward as well, so we've had a lot of street closures. SCOTA has been wonderful to our city and the work have been doing. I have to say, I truly haven't had many complaints. They have been working with all the residents, and if anybody has any problems, they've been very informative. They've been going door to door. I just have to say thank you. And again, the patience with the residents, I know it's been frustrating. The trees in the 10th Ward need trimming badly. We were down to one crew. I know they're almost covering our streets, but they should be around soon. I was told before September. I know some of you have called me over and over again. I have to wait till they get to our ward, and hopefully they'll be there very, very soon. The same as Councilman Medina has stated, curbs and sidewalks will be starting in September. If anybody has any issues or noticed curbs, we don't have many sidewalks in the 10th Ward, but curbs, and there's a couple sidewalks. Please let me know so I can add them to the list and get those taken care of. I have to thank the police department, the traffic bureau, Lieutenant Mack, and the Office of Emergency Management. Many of my residents get frustrated during the Winfield Carnival, and I have to say they did a magnificent job. We've finally come to a point when the carnival's going on that we have our safety intact of the residents. There's been less littering. There's been more monitoring, and I can't thank them enough. Things went very well this year, and I think one resident wasn't happy, but the rest of them were. So instead of calling me for bad things, they called me for good things, which means a lot to me. September to Remember is on September 23rd. I just want to remind everybody of that. I also had an experience with the fire department this past month. This has been the third fire in the 10th Ward since I've been elected. And, you know, I'm usually brutally honest, and many people and residents get frustrated and think the firemen sleep, and, you know, they're eating dinner and how much money they cost. But I have to tell you, I was going to a dinner, and I heard the fire trucks, and then I see the lights. I go around the corner. Well, they're at my cousin's house, and he has a work van, and I guess the engine exploded in it, and it shot up the side of his house. He had a brand new trailer in front and a car behind it, homes very close to the side, and if it wasn't for the quick reaction and our extremely well-trained fire department, I am sure for the third time in the 10th Ward, there would have been other homes lost, there would have been more damage and people hurt. So really, I really truly want to thank the fire department for that. And when it becomes, you know, it's hard to deal with even when it's a resident in the ward, but when it hits close to home and it is your immediate family, it's not easy. And just congratulations to the promotions of our officer tonight. 3 of the best. I'm going to say that. You guys are wonderful, and I'm really so happy, and you're well-deserved promotions tonight. And just to please lock your car doors, there was a statement that came out from the police department. I think it was almost about 95% of the cars that were broken into are because their car doors are not locked. So please just try and lock your car doors. A lot of people, if you see anything suspicious, please call the police department, and they will get there as soon as they can on their regular number, 908-474-8500. And have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Norman?
Thank you, Council President. First, I'd like to extend my apologies for being late. A lot of people realize that we are politicians and we do wear that hat, but we also wear the parent hat. So for a short spell this afternoon, I was making sure my daughter was very happy and making sure that she has a social life and politics does not stifle her. So once again, today I wear the mommy hat, which is absolutely the best hat that you could possibly wear. I'm going to start off by congratulating our newly promoted police officers. Congratulations. I'm very proud to live in a city where our police continue to raise the bar and shine. But one thing I don't know if anyone has mentioned, that we have an outstanding chief of police. And on Friday, I would just like to mention that Chief Jonathan Parham completed the New Jersey Certified Public Manager Program. It was a 10-month program that was developed by Rutgers School of Public Affairs and Administration and the State of New Jersey Civil Service Commission, and it prepares government leaders to meet the complex demands and challenges of the 21st century public management environment. So with great police officers, we have great leadership. And without great leadership, we are destined for failure. So once again, congratulations, Chief Parham, on this spectacular achievement, and continue to do the great job that you're doing and leading our men in blue to be better than they have ever been before. I'd like to comment on leash laws. We have a few residents in the First Ward that believe your front lawn makes your dog exempt from a leash law. It doesn't. If your front lawn is not fenced in, and your dog is out there without a leash, you are in violation of the policy. Now, we all love our dogs, we love our neighbors' dogs, and we all have a tendency to think that, oh, my dog doesn't bite. Well, if your dog has teeth, your dog can bite. So please be mindful. Everyone is not comfortable around dogs. Some people are actually afraid. And like I said, we do have leash laws. I want to talk a little bit about tree trimming. We have successfully, thanks to DPW, cleaned up the area around the high school in anticipation for the students and the teachers returning back to school. And just keep in mind that some of these trees are very young trees, so the leaves come down and the branches come down relatively quickly because they're having the growth spurt from all of the water. So please be patient as we're getting to them. There's a lot that need to be done throughout the whole entire ward. I do want to ask people to please refrain from putting nails in the trees. When your pet gets lost or your neighbor's pet is missing, you want to tape it on there, I'm okay with that, but you shouldn't take a nail or any type of tack and bang that into any tree. It's not healthy, and it's just not the right thing to do. You can put them up on a telephone pole, pass out flyers, but please don't nail them into the actual tree. The balance of the First Ward will be receiving their garbage cans as well on September 18th or around there. You'll be going to the once-a-week garbage pickup, and like I said, it'll be automated. We have successfully completed Ainsworth, and I believe Loretta is almost finished, and Washington Avenue has been paved. It's been a huge and a marked improvement, and we're going to continue with some of the street repairs that haven't been taken care of in quite some time. Engineering was ever so kind as to give me a map of the areas that have been done, I guess, further back in time, and we will be addressing those as well as the ones that have lots of potholes. I want to address a little bit of speeding, especially around our school district. School is getting ready to start. I mean, the summer is pretty much gone. So we're looking about another 21 days or less. School is going to be in full swing. Please be careful. Our children, our teachers, you know, they're walking these areas in great numbers. So please slow it down, be careful, be mindful. Last but not least, I would like to address Wales Park. Wales Park was set on fire a couple of months ago. It was horrible. Children in the park, which it's a park for children, just decided to behave badly and set the park on fire. Yes, we do know that the bushes are getting high. But I'm going to tell you, I had people that have given me the utmost respect and have knocked on my door and asked, when is the park going to be ready? What can they do to help? I've had people that have called my phone and have asked, the same question. What can we do to help? When will it be ready? The whole gamut. What I don't entertain is silliness and ranting and raving on social media sites. I don't respond to it because I'm a mature adult. I have a telephone and I have an email address. And the best way to engage in meaningful conversation with me is face-to-face or either a phone call. I just don't get into the nonsense back and forth, the ranting and raving. It's unprofessional and it's immature. Furthermore, my children are on Facebook, and I would never allow them or my family members or my church family to see buffoonery, to see me acting in such a negative manner. So I thank those that have actually given me the respect to contact me in such a professional, mature way, because I have always returned your phone calls, I have always returned your emails, and I will continue to do so. But I'm letting it be stated publicly, I do not respond to rants, raves, or anything about any city issue via Facebook, because most of the time, I don't go to those sites. So if you really want something done, if you really love your city, if you really love your ward, I have a phone number, 908-370-6482, and my email, lormond, that's L-O-R-M-O-N, @linden-nj.org. Really simple. And if you're smart enough to go onto social media, you are smart enough to open up an email and tag me that way. So like I said, just encourage you to reach out to me in a one-on-one, because you'll find out that if you do take the time, I have a great command of the English language. I do speak well, and I understand the English language, so I believe that we could have some meaningful dialogue. On that note, I would like to say have a wonderful summer, the balance of it, and I'm always open and accessible to anyone, like I said, who chooses to reach out to me. Thank you, and have a wonderful end of summer.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Mayor?
Yes, and I'll reiterate that she does have a very good command of the English language. I've known that for quite some time, having to be in the same house with her for all those years. First, I'd like to just remind everybody that our car, truck, and bike cruiser night is still continuing at Aviation Plaza, and that will be until October 23rd. It's from 5 o'clock to 9 p.m. If you get a chance, please stop out. It's a good night to take your family out, stop by one of the restaurants, grab something to eat. Just a good night out. I'd like to also remind the public about our Backpack to School event that we're having on August 21st. So again, not only are we having a solar eclipse that day, we're going to give out backpacks. Last year, we gave out over 800 backpacks, and we're looking to top that number. We're also going to be giving out free pizza, hot dogs, chips, and juice to the children. The children from grades K through 8 must be accompanied by a parent, and you can register online at linden-nj.org, or you can call for more information at 908-290-3107, or you can email lindennjbackpack@gmail.com for more information. Now, last week, our Unity Day event that we had scheduled, well, it wasn't rained out, but we canceled it because we thought that that we were going to be rained out. So that has been rescheduled for Saturday, August 19th. So, and it will begin at 2 o'clock and end at 10 p.m. So if you're looking to have a good time, come out and join us at the promenade that's right across the street. Looking forward to having some good weather this weekend, we hope. I'd like to, at this time, also congratulate the chief on receiving his New Jersey certification public manager's certificate. Again, the chief continues to do things that is necessary to have our police department become more effective, and I commend him on his efforts. I'd like to congratulate the promotion of Thomas Toth to police captain. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, Thomas and I graduated Linden High School in 1979. So congratulations. It's good to see some of us old guys still moving forward. I'd like to congratulate the promotion of Rick Bachman to lieutenant. Lieutenant Bachman couldn't be here this evening. He is on vacation with his family that was scheduled prior to this evening. I'm sure he appreciates the promotion, and I'm sure he would, if he could be here, he would. Also like to congratulate Matthew Damata to his promotion of police sergeant. I'm confident that Matthew will do a great job. All three of you gentlemen are excellent police officers, and I trust the chief in his judgment as he has decided to promote you to your respective positions. And last but not least, tonight we had our second reading of Ordinance 61-50, which is the repealing of Ordinance 57-25, which is entitled Garbage Collection Annual Surcharge. So I'd like to thank the council for voting in the affirmative on this. Again, I will say that I've always felt that it was unfair, and I thought it was just a way for us to circumvent the 2% cap that was imposed on the citizens of this town. I find that the majority of the senior citizens are the ones who appreciate this repeal the most. My mother's a senior. I still have senior family members in town, and there are many seniors who just cannot make the ends meet, and while it doesn't seem like a lot of money, it will help, it will provide some relief. I want the people out in the audience to understand that there's a commitment on my behalf, and this governing body should have that same commitment to sharpen their pencils now, because, again, this is $1.6 million, and we have actually found money to fill the gap for this garbage fee, the money that we're not going to have. So I would continue to urge us to sharpen our pencils and do our due diligence, because just because Governor Christie has imposed a 2% cap doesn't mean that we have to try to go up 2% every year. And I want to remind residents again that your tax bill is not just the municipal portion that we represent. It's three parts of your tax bill. It's the municipal, that's the part that we're responsible for, is the Board of Education, and it's the county. So, and as much as you come to our council meetings urging us to be more conscious about the spending that we do, I would urge you all to go to your board meetings when they occur and have require the same of them to be more vigilant in their approach to spending and saving. And don't be afraid to talk to your county representatives, because they constitute a good portion of our budget as well. So I think when all three branches of our government get together and try to have some sincere cost-saving initiatives, I think that we can at least cap spending and slow down the tax increases that we've been accustomed to over the last few years. So I just look forward to the residents of this town working with us to put that kind of pressure on these other agencies so that we can, quote unquote, stop the bleeding. People just can't afford to live here anymore, and we have the ability and the power to do something about it, and I think we can. So that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mayor, and well said. Just want to congratulate all the police officers, okay, for a job well done, and I'm sure you guys will continue doing so. At this time, resolutions 2017-281 through 2017-303. If anybody wants any resolutions to be removed, public comments will be permitted for those specific resolutions to be removed from the consent approval. Please read the synopsis of the resolutions, which have been prepared by the city clerk's office. Each is informative and self-explanatory. However, if you wish to address a specific resolution, the council will entertain questions on it. Anybody? Ms. Malik? 294? 294, 95, 99, 01, and 02? Anybody else? Okay, can I have a motion to pass resolutions 2017-281 through 2017-303 with the exceptions of 294, 295, 299, 301, and 302, please?
Council President, I request for approval for resolutions to 017281 through resolution number 2017303, with the exception of 294, 295, 299, 301, 302, and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown? Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Miller, can you please come up? Let's start with 294.
In 294, we talk about a leachate pump for roughly $11,000 with a total contract of $175 plus change. What else is included in this total contract, the total contract of $175,000?
Mr. Verchek? CFM Construction?
Yeah, the two main reasons were after the leachate pumps were put in, there was a short. So we had the contractor try to locate where the short was, so he had to test a couple hundred feet of cable. He found the short, and then he was authorized to repair it. Then we also found out that the two pumps that were at the bottom of the wet well had to be replaced. So this $10,000 was for the pumps and the electrical work.
And then the $175K or the remainder, so like the $165,000 is for what?
Well, the original job was to install the leachate pumps, and then
Oh,
this
okay, so this is-
$10,000 was the change order.
Okay, fine, very good.
295, ma'am?
All right, on 295, the $3,500 to the $5,200, I assume, so this ETI management is a headhunter for being retained to find the superintendent? Because I also see that was on one of the postings for a headhunter. So my question is, we have a personnel department, so why are we going out to try to recruit this superintendent? And this is a headhunter, I assume?
Basically, yes.
Okay. And did we try in-house with our personnel to go out with this, and have we been unsuccessful? Or I gather we've been unsuccessful, but has there been a difficult time to try to fill this position?
Mr. Roth?
To answer your question, we've looked around. We have and by looked around, I mean we've looked internally, we've looked externally, locally. We had a hard time finding someone with all the certifications we're looking for. We were also working under a different job title. We're not going under the civil service job title. We're going under the statutory job title, which is a little different.
Why is that?
It's in the best interest of the city to have someone with more authority under the statute than under civil service.
And then some of these qualifications that you're talking about, are they above and beyond what our previous superintendent had?
Yeah, yes, what we're looking for is something more extensive than what the civil service requires.
Okay.
And we don't want to be stuck with being limited by civil service, although I love civil service. Here, it's probably not in the best interest of the city. Remember, we haven't had a superintendent for some time, so we are looking to get someone who is literally like our two chiefs, ready to move Linden in that area into beyond the 21st century. We have to look beyond it. So what we're looking to do is get somebody who's eminently qualified, which means that we would have to look beyond our normal posting, which what we do is post internally on the website and then post externally through civil service. What we're looking to do is expand that.
Are we also raising the standard for other superintendents within the city?
Well, at the moment, everybody else is tenured, so this is.
But for the
our
start.
future.
You can't say.
I can't even predict what's going to happen tomorrow, but as of this particular position, Councilman Strano and I worked very hard at putting something together, making a recommendation to the remainder of the council, which they accepted.
Right, but it's also setting a precedent for the future, for future.
I sure hope so.
Okay, very good.
Councilman Brown?
I was going for Ms. Malik, if she's done. Oh, I don't know if you have more questions. Answer your question, yes. The standard needs to be raised across the board for everything, and so. I don't wanna
Across the
speak
board for all?
For everyone. I think the mayor and a lot of
Okay.
council people feel that way. With with Public Works, we have a lot of great guys working down in Public Works. We also gave them the tools and resources. What we're looking to do, and I can say, at least from my aspect, is make sure that we have the best qualified person down in Public Works to do a total revamp of that. Linden has been known in the past as having great services, but we've become very reactive. We want to go back to a town that provides great services and is very proactive, where residents don't have to call us about getting their trees trimmed, why the garbage is not being picked up, things of this nature. So we want to make sure that we're getting the best qualified person to come in, do a total revamp of our Public Works, make sure we're utilizing our manpower to the best of their ability, that they have the best tools and resources to do their job, and that residents are not calling, complaining, because a lot of complaints we get is that residents say, I'm paying all these taxes, why is my garbage not being picked up? Why is my tree not being trimmed? Why? We want to try to avoid those questions.
Right, and also, since we're raising the standards, I would assume that the compensation for these positions will also be changing?
I don't have the salary ordinance in front of me, but
Gotcha, okay, just something to think about, okay.
299?
299. Can someone explain what this is all about here? Money's owed the UCIA, and then other monies owed the city, so about cell towers. Just explain what this really
Very
is.
simply, ma'am, we owe the county some money, the county owe us some money, so it's...
We're just fighting over it?
That's all. No fighting, just it's done.
It's
You
a
know, it's the
wash.
same amount, so everything washes out evenly.
So, but relative to a cell tower, is that because, like, the city built this, or?
No, the cell tower,
What's
we were supposed to receive rent on the cell tower.
Gotcha,
And they
okay.
didn't, and
No
it just,
compensation.
everything balanced out.
Very good,
Yeah.
okay.
301?
301. Oh, what type of properties were purchased? I know Patty here was not here, but she would always bring up the comment about redevelopment and whatnot. So I'm interested in knowing, like, blocks 91, lots 4 and 5 for public use. What were those, what type of properties were these purchased?
Mr. Antonelli?
Thank you, Council President. Yeah, Ms. Malik, this resolution concerns property at 1300 Orchard Terrace. The city is looking into the feasibility of perhaps acquiring that property for a public use.
But what type of property? Is it a residential?
Right now, it's a residential
Okay.
house that's in foreclosure. What the city is looking into is the idea of perhaps relocating the Linden Historical Society to the structure with some improvements to the structure, and in the rear of the property, because it's a rather large piece of residential property by city standards, to create perhaps a park for children with disabilities, perhaps in collaboration with the county as well, who has created some parks throughout the county for children with disabilities. So this just allows us to start the process to look into it further. We're not encumbering any money right now, other than an appraisal, which is part of the process is required. But as of this point in time, that's all this is. It starts the process to allow us to look into it.
And what was the address on Orchard Terrace?
1300 Orchard Terrace.
Very good, all right, thank you.
And 302, ma'am?
302. Why do we have this exception here? Isn't this setting some sort of a precedent, having, not having the residency requirement? What happened here?
This gentleman is going to be an assistant engineer. We
But a
will not-
full-time employee?
Excuse me?
A full-time employee?
Full-time employee. And as you know, it's not easy to find.
Council President?
Yes.
If I may?
Yes, sir.
This is the waiver. The reason is that, as you know, what we said earlier, we're a civil service jurisdiction. This is a position that is required to be hired through the civil service. The eligibility list that was promulgated by civil service does not have a Linden resident on it.
So when we have these exceptions, is there ever a time requirement that that person has to become a resident, or that person is excused?
Our ordinance does not have a time requirement.
Okay, so there's no need for him to become a resident, bottom line.
At this point in time, the residency ordinance does not have a time which would require a person who was hired after the residency requirement, the ordinance came into effect. So no, there's
Okay,
nothing
very
in
good.
there
Thank you.
presently.
Thank you, ma'am. May I have a motion, please, for resolutions 294, 295, 299, 301, and 302?
Council President, I request consent approval for resolutions 294, 295, 299, 301, 302, and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes to all with no to number 295.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Antonelli, you have something to tell us?
Yes, thank you, Council President. Ms. Malik, I guess in my excitement in the explanation about the public use and certainly this council's appreciation to perhaps try and create a park for children with disabilities, I misspoke. What I had actually answered or commented on, which is an ordinance that's on for first reading that deals with that issue. The resolution you questioned, that also authorizes the eminent domain of 2 properties in the St. George's Avenue redevelopment that the mayor has discussed previously. As you know, that project was started once before, but we're happy to report now is moving forward. So as a part of this process, there are 2 properties within the St. George's Avenue redevelopment that are slated for eminent domain. So this starts the process to acquire those properties. The 2 properties in the resolution is the Lawson property, which is a tire property, Mayor, and the other property is a vacant lot. The Lawson property is some sort of tire shop, some sort of auto repair shop. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Ms. Antonelli. Ordinances on first reading? Ms. Horner, can you please read number 6151?
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $223,300 for the acquisition of various items of capital equipment for the fire department and authorizing the issuance of $212,135 in bonds or notes of the city for financing part of the appropriation.
Does anybody wish to make any comments? No questions? May I have a motion to introduce, please?
I move for the introduction of ordinance 61-51 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Horner, can you please read 6152?
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $52,000 for renovations to the police department's fitness room and authorizing the issuance of $49,400 in bonds or notes for financing part of the appropriation.
Anybody wish to make any comments on this ordinance? No questions. May I have a motion to introduce, please?
Council President, I move ordinance number 6152 for introduction and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Horner, can you please read 61-53?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 31 zoning. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Linden that Section 1, Chapter 31 zoning shall be and the same is hereby amended as follows. Delete Section 31-2 definitions in its entirety and add new Section 31-2 definitions.
Anybody wish to make a comment? May I have a motion to introduce, please?
Yes, Council President, I make a motion for the introduction of ordinance 61-53 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Horner, can you please read 61-54?
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Linden vacating the perpetual easement reserved for the benefit of public utility companies on a portion of Lumber Street pursuant to NJSA 40:67-1.
Anybody wish to make any comments? May I have a motion to introduce, please?
I move for introduction of bond ordinance number 6154 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Horner, can you please read 61-55?
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Linden vacating a portion of John Street pursuant to NJSA 40:67-1.
Anybody wants to make any comments on this ordinance? May I have a motion to introduce, please?
I move for introduction of bond ordinance number 6155 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Horner, can you please read 61-56?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7 Traffic, Section 7-33 Handicap Parking Regulations, Section 7-33.1A Handicap Parking on Street. Delete 424 Ainsworth Street, 1 space.
We don't get the rest of it? That's okay. May I, any question? No, sorry. Any comments on this ordinance? May I have a motion to introduce, please?
I move for introduction of bond ordinance number 6156 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Horner, can you please read 61-57?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7 Traffic, Section 7-22.1 Four-Way Stop Intersections. Add West Price Street and Lumber Street. The signs will be located at West Price and Lumber Street and West Price.
Any comments on this ordinance? May I have a motion to introduce, please?
Yes, Council President, I make a motion for the introduction of ordinance 6157 and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Horner, can you please read 61-58?
Sure. An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 12 Property Maintenance for Non-Residential Properties. Amend Section 12-10 Administrative Provision as follows. Add Section 12-10.14 Commercial Continued Certificate of Occupancy.
Any comments on this ordinance? May I have a motion to introduce, please?
Yes, Council President, I make a motion for the introduction of ordinance 61-58 and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Horner, can you please read 61-59?
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $265,000 for various improvements for the Recreation Department and authorizing the issuance of $180,500 in bonds or notes of the city for financing part of the appropriations.
Any comments on this ordinance? Ms. Malik, can you please come up?
Who, if I wanted to find out more about this, who can I direct my queries to?
Mr. McDonald.
Very good.
Any other comments? May I have a motion to introduce, please?
Motion to introduce 6159, request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Horner, can you please read 6160?
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $357,500 for the acquisition of various items of capital equipment for the Department of Public Works and authorizing the issuance of $339,625 in bonds or notes of the city for financing part of the appropriation.
Anybody wish to make any comments on this ordinance? May I have a motion to introduce, please?
Motion to introduce ordinance 61-60 and request a second.
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 Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Horner, can you please read 61-61?
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $55,000 for various non-public safety informational technology upgrades for the Finance Department and authorizing the issuance of $52,250 in bonds or notes of the city for financing part of the appropriations.
Any comments on this ordinance? May I have a motion, please?
Motion to introduce ordinance 61-61 and request a second.
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 Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Horner, can you please read which one did we just read?
61, 62s are on.
Oh, that's on now?
Yes.
Oh, how did I lose my place? Can you please read 61-62?
An ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, an ordinance establishing a schedule of titles, salary ranges, and regulations for maintaining the classification and salary standardization plan of all employees of the city of Linden, passed August 15th, 1995, and approved August 16th, 1995, adding Schedule 4 LL5.
May I have a motion to, sorry. Any comments on this ordinance? May I have a motion to introduce, please?
Council President, I move for introduction of ordinance 61-62 and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown? Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Horner, can you please read 61-63?
An ordinance authorizing the acquisition of properties identified on the tax maps of the city of Linden as Block 238, Lot 34 for public use.
Any comments on this ordinance? Ms. Malik, that's the one that was mentioned previously. Can I have a motion to introduce, please?
Council President, I move for introduction of bond ordinance number 6163 and ask for a second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown? Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. At this time, we're going for comments from the members of the public in attendance. No personal, political, derogatory comments. It will not exceed 5 minutes. If there's anyone who did not get a chance to sign in the sheet, please let me know now. Anybody else? I only have 3 people. What's your name again, sir? Ah, Craig Halbrand? Well, why don't we start with you? Come right up.
First of all, I'd like to thank the mayor and city council for allowing me to speak. I brought up several issues at the last council meeting. And basically what I'm getting at is my wife and I feel that, I know everybody's trying here to stabilize our taxes in town, but what else can be done by this governing body to do that? I don't know about anybody else, but I don't like a state agency, the education people in Trenton, telling me how to spend my money. I know other people don't like it. So if laws had to be changed to get something done to affect better tax rates on other agencies in this town, then why don't we do that as a governing body? One of the other issues at the last council meeting, a point was made that on a piece of property, how much does the town control versus the homeowner who's paying the taxes? I think it was referring to how much in from the curb that the city controls, or whatever the case may be. I'm not sure the exact wording. Other than that, I'd like to thank the city council and the mayor for all the work that they do. I think that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Kaminsky.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you. Just want to talk about the SID, and I think this is a perfect example, especially on the heels of what happened last month a little bit. And again, I'm going to preface this by saying, and as someone obviously in my job, I've been on both ends of the table, so I know I'm not going to be as forceful because I know there's a lot of stuff that I don't know, but sometimes you just have that feeling in the pit of your stomach and you can see where things are going. So I'm going to start with the SID, and that pit in my stomach tells me that, again, I don't know what these SIDs do. I don't know how efficient they are. And unfortunately, Mr. Bono left. I would love to, hear his feedback on it. But, I mean, I can just go down, let's give some examples here, right? I'm looking at, first thing that strikes me is a $25,000 marketing cost there. So my first comments were geared at the marketing flare-up we had last month, that were the back and forth. So we have a group of people doing marketing. There's another person being hired to do marketing. Then we have a SID with another $25,000. Like, this is what I mean, and this is a perfect example of all these little things kind of adding up, more inefficiency, and they're all doing, in essence, the same thing. And I put marketing quotes because, to tell the truth, I don't know if they are doing the same thing. But, that has to be discussed. I mean, these are tax dollars. Mr. Bono, again, probably well-intentioned, and I'm not saying that there isn't any use maybe for the SID. Again, I don't know enough, but some of the things he mentioned that they're going to be doing, or that's a priority for him. So, and specifically, to buy chairs for business owners. Now, I speak to the business owners. There hasn't been one that have really complained that the city of Linden's not giving them chairs. This is a capital expense that business owners kind of, you plan for. If you need chairs, you buy your chairs. Business appreciation. So we're taxing the businesses and us to appreciate themselves. So again, it just seems a little silly to me. I think the best way we could appreciate them as a governing body is to probably lessen the things that get in our way of doing business. Just throwing it out there, but again, that old pit in my stomach, That could just be my dinner, who knows? But then you have these other things here, website data and upkeep. He mentioned a new office with meeting space. Now, we spend close to 2% of our budget on a library, okay? So talk about meeting space and computer. Well, we have one right in the SID. I don't know what the borders of the SID are, but very close by, right here in walking distance. I think we could, that use could be, could be leveraged there, using something that we have in place and spend a ton of money on already annually and get taxed on. So that's it. I guess those are just my points. I mean, I could go on, but I mean, there's some other things too, like, again, some of the nice things that are being, that the money is being spent on. So the flowers, the little signage. The signage right now, quite frankly, it's not even Linden colors. It's kind of all over. It's really not much to it. And I suggested, and Mr. Sadowski was nice enough to get the example that I brought what some other towns were doing, especially around the military, around the military holidays, where you actually have, a Linden resident's face who served or something like that. And, the contacts are there because we're getting those banners done. It's the same size banners, but it was never done. We have something with, not Linden colors, some kind of flowers, designs. So I'm just saying that I don't think that these organizations are efficient or used to their potential. At the very least. Again, I know there's work, and I'm reserving comment on it because, I spoke that over the years at nauseum about, 6 different walkway styles in the downtown area, just kind of all over the place. This is a perfect example. All these little silos, everyone doing everything, and who knows, maybe you could use a SID to kind of be the governing body or the guiding hand of making sure that we have a cohesive look in the downtown area, at least once this, construction is done, or during the construction, not once it's done. You want to get it before. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kaminsky. And Ms. Malik?
I'm very glad that Mr. Kaminsky raised those comments about this memo on the LDMC. I'll have to say ditto to a lot of your comments. But one thing which I didn't realize, that LDMC, this is SID? Because this memo here, Michael Bono.
Yeah, I mean, can I address that real quick?
I wanted some clarification what this is, because I was just to pull like $200,000 for this. What is?
Holding is the SID budget, right?
Yeah, and no question. Real quick, that's why Mike was here, and your comments, and we can hear your comments, everything else like that. I would encourage. SID has a separate they're a public entity. They're just like us, where you can go there and talk to them. this governing body has no influence over SID.
But SID is a
So-
Linden,
Yeah, and so SID is a separate organization, or a separate public entity that has its own public meetings as well. So the concerns and issues that you have,
Could be addressed
SID
there.
would be the one to go and talk to them, just like the Board of Education separate. SID is a separate organization where those taxes come from the downtown area, where you know, Mike and them would be more appropriate to
all right, but he's
answer those
addressing this
questions.
to Alexis, our treasurer, so I would assume that you have some speak over what's listed on here? No? Okay. And this Michael Bono is, someone said he
Yeah,
left,
Mike
or he's?
Bono, he's the executive director. So what happens is the SID is a separate government entity that's made up of 9 members, and you have an executive director, similar to the LEDC.
Sure, and where do I
but
find
the-
these individuals,
the
or the
SID,
head?
They have an office right on here on Wood Avenue.
Gotcha, okay, so I can address this. So this was just kind of a
Just a
pro
budget,
forma,
ma'am.
but
That's
just
the
a budget
budget,
that,
right.
That, I don't know if Alexis can speak about it. They have to be able to, I guess.
We can let,
Yeah,
the
so-
chairman is here. If you need questions, Mr. Coates is here. He's the chairman of the SID, and you will be able to ask him what you need.
sure, but anyhow, this budget here has to be approved by our treasurer?
No, ma'am.
Or?
They're
no,
completely independent.
Yes.
But they have to get money from somewhere, and.
They get it from the merchants.
They
There's
get
a
it from
special
the
Strictly
tax.
from the
taxes on that,
merchants,
yes.
it's not municipal.
So
Correct.
we have no influence over their budget.
Gotcha. That's my concern for the 200,000, that's not really tapping into.
Correct, it's not coming
Yes.
from us.
Okay, and who's the gentleman that you,
Mr. Coates over here. Mr. Coates, say hello. That's Mr. Paul Coates, and he's the chairman of the SID.
of SID now?
Yes.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mallon. Okay, at this time, I need to close the public comment part. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Okay, everybody will have, anybody who is interested from the dais will have 1 minute, and this has to do with the comments that were made by the residents. Anybody wants to say anything? Mr. Medina? Anybody here? Okay, Mr. Medina, I'm going to give you 1 minute.
I don't even need a minute, Council President, thank you. Forgot to, I left something out of my report. I am coordinating a meeting with Central Park, with all the folks that reside on Wood Avenue and the side streets that are affected by their nightclub operation that will be starting in the early part of the fall or end of September. So we'll put out a blast on Facebook and Nextdoor, and we'll also leave a flyer on your door with a date for that community meeting at Central Park to address any issues, answer any questions, and just to obtain contact information from the folks of Central Park to address any issues while they go through their club operations. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. The following council meetings will be as follows. Council conference meeting Monday, September 18th, 2017, in the council conference room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council conference meeting prior to the council meeting, Tuesday, September 19th, 2017, at 6 p.m. in the council conference room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council meeting, Tuesday, September 19th, 2017, at 7 p.m. in the council chambers, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. At this time, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Javik?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes, meeting is adjourned. Everybody have a good Labor Day.